Tonight is November the 6th, 2018. And what I'm going to do tonight is make a short video and go ahead and post it and try to start a conversation. I've been asked a number of questions. They occur here and there about transformers. I've made a couple of videos on transformers, and one of them was really popular a few years ago. Still out there. But this is my primary transformer stash. All these up here are basically filament transformers, small chokes, some larger stuff too. This row right here is all audio. These are audio transformers. And down here are more power transformers, the larger stuff. Put it down at the bottom to keep it from tipping the thing over. We've got all kinds of stuff, high voltage 3300 volt stuff, some beautiful UTC transformers. Here's one that I used in that quad 300B amplifier. This is one just like it, 800 volts, 400 milliamp center tap. Some big stuff over here, some big chokes back there. These up here, these are audio. Here's three of exactly the same kind. These are beautiful. They've never even had solder touched to them. 5K primaries with 4816, 150, 400 ohms. See, this one's the same thing. It's just got a data sheet wrapped around it. Driver transformers, chokes, grid chokes. We call them impedance chokes too. Here it's called grid choke. I think this one is about, I think it's about 4,000 henries. I know that sounds outrageous, but it's true. This one is 2,500 henries. Here are driver transformers, single-ended to push-pull grids, and on and on and on. And here are some of these things that you've seen before, these little line matching transformers. Here's a one-to-one driver transformer. It's 1,000 henries to 1,000 henries. Here's a couple of really beautiful Western Electric transformers. But they're about 4K primary to 100 ohm secondary, so I'm not quite sure what to do with them. Here's a transformer that I've just got to build something out of. That's a real beauty. It's about 65 or 70 henries on the primary. Here's another one. Another one over here. This one's a 10K 50 watt, and I got a pair of these guys right here that I have shown several times in some of my videos where I built kilowatt amplifiers with them. Here's actually an 813 amplifier up here. Inspired a lot by the Altec amplifier. I don't remember the model number. It seemed like it was 270 or something like that. Ran a pair of 813, so I got two of these guys right here. I think that's pretty unique. But anyway, what I think a question would be, or a discussion to be, to answer the most amount of questions, concerns would, let's start with power transformers. Let's start with these guys up here. Here's a nice one that we can probably test. Kind of needs to be beautified a little bit, but it's okay. Here's some big stuff right here. 900 volt center tap at a half an amp. Chokes, etc. But anyway, the point is this. You probably have a lot more options with a transformer than you realize. For example, if you just take a standard little transformer like this that you might use in an audio amplifier, and let's suppose it has an 800 volt center tap secondary. That's pretty common. What can you do with it? Well, you can put it into a 5U4, and that's 400 volts each side. And you can get, if you put the output of the rectifier into a capacitor input filter, you get about 1.25, about 125% of what it is across the half of the winding. If it's 800 center tap, it'd be 400 volts from center tap to one side. So you get about 500 volts out of it, maybe 480, 490, I can't tell you to the exact volt what you're going to get. But if you put it into a choke input filter, you'll only get about 90% of that, which is 360 volts. So you've got a lot more options than you may realize. If you have unused 6 volt and 5 volt windings, if you experiment with it and put them correctly in phase, you can put them in series with your primary and lower the voltage a little bit. You can put it into a bridge, and the output of the bridge can be into a choke input or a capacitor input filter, and you've got that 90% and 125% again. So the point of it is with one little transformer, one high voltage winding, one center tap winding, one center tap high voltage winding, I'll say it right here in a minute, you can have so many different voltages. You're not just stuck with one. So I think that's what would be worth a lengthy discussion about. And so up here with all these transformers, I must have a couple of thousand options. Now, of course, if I need 400 milliamps and my transformer is only good for 100 milliamps, well, we got a problem there. There's not much way we can cheat that. But let's think about this, and let's think about the types of questions and the types of answers we would actually like in building power supplies. But this one will be about power transformers, and then we can also think about what would we like to know about audio transformers. What if we don't know much about them at all? What if we don't have all of these numbers like that? What if it's this guy right here? I actually know what this is because I've done a lot of measurements on it. The facts are you want to know everything you can about it. You want to know its DC resistance. You want to know its series resistance of the windings. You want to know the turns ratio. You want to know the inductance of each winding, because the ratio of inductance winding to winding is the same ratio as the impedance, and so on. So many things to know. A lot of things to know about transformers. So I think we should discuss audio transformers different from power transformers. But let's start with power transformers, and let's see if we can get the correct voltages. And I'm not talking about the 6.3 volts for filaments and things like that. I'm talking about primarily the high voltage winding. And how many ways can we use it? I bet you there's ways that I haven't thought of that you guys know. And I'm going to learn as much from this as you guys do. So I appreciate your thoughts on this, and let's see where this takes us.